Today is the start of a mountain tradition, the 68th annual Apple Festival.
News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live on Main Street in Hendersonville. And Vic, it's quiet there now, but that's all going to change.
Yeah, it is pretty quiet at this moment, but just a few hours from now, this place is going to be hopping. You can see every one of the vendors is already set up. In fact, we've got lights on at 1 that we're going to stop by a little bit later for you this morning. But right now, we need to find out what's new and what's going on. For that, we talked to David Nicholson. He's the executive director of the North Carolina Apple Festival. Wow, can you believe it's this time of year again?
As you and I were just talking, it seems to come around very quickly, doesn't it? But once a year, Labor Day weekend, this is us.
This is you, but it's a year-round effort. And tell me what you have done in the past year to make this year new and different.
We've got a lot of things. We have a kind of a preteen area this year. We're going to have some activities for preteens, and we think it's going to be really, really happy. But also,
look at this
area right here, across the downtown Hendersonville, our beautiful downtown, they built these large crosswalks, and so we're actually going to put entertainment. So as you walk down the street, you're going to see a lot of really interesting things as you walk down the street.
So when we see some of these spots like this one here that are a little bit wider, you know, a little more access for the typical folks who are walking around down here any time of year, we're going to get an extra special treat.
Yeah.
Now, but what is some of the favorite things that are, what are some of the favorites that are back this year?
Of course, we bring back some arts and crafts, but we'll actually have about 35–40% brand new arts and crafts people can see. So people get to come see a new, refreshed festival every single year. And of course, our food vendors are here. We have nonprofits. But of course, you know, more important, we have the apple growers. And we're really excited about our relationship we have with our apple growers. And so you'll be able to buy fresh apples on the street that were picked yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
And of course, you're going to have a chance to see one and spend some time this morning with one of our apple growers.
Now, that's coming up in our next half hour. Really quickly, though, how is this year shaping up for the apple growers? They're having a good year?
Having a really good year. They seem to be very excited, and so we always love to kick them off. And we have 15 growers, and they start off their great apple season with the North Carolina Apple Festival in Hendersonville.
Well, that is a way to do it, with a great big party. And you know what? The party starts later this morning, and it goes through all the way through the huge parade on Labor Day. And then we will be taking a look at some of the excitement that's coming up throughout the morning, including we're talking to the apple growers. We're going to show you some of the wonderful apple-related tasty treats that are available, and you can find out all the details of those entertainers, the fun you can have. This is a great family event, so check out all the details at newslinks at WLOS.com. Coming up, what's growing on this year's apple crop? We're going to check it out live in Hendersonville. Victoria Dunkel, News 13.
The 68th annual North Carolina Apple Festival begins later this morning.
But right now, News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live checking out the star of the show. And Vic, what's going on with this year's crop?
Oh, it is looking absolutely wonderful, ripe, juicy, and delicious. Look at all these apples as far as the eye can see. We have actually stopped by the Newman Farms stand. It's one of several, 15 different growers taking part in this year's festival. Randy Newman happens to be with the Blue Ridge Apple Growers Association. You handle a lot of the marketing and getting the word out, so now's your chance to tell us what's going on. This has been a good year so far.
It's been a great year. We've had a good growing season. We've been a little damp, but other than that, we've had a good year for the apples, nice sizes, almost all the fruit.
Look at these. These are huge, beautiful, and this is a
Honeycrisp.
Honeycrisp, one of the more popular ones. People like this. It's a good one to just grab and eat, right?
Oh yes.
So what if let's walk through and see what's looking here. Say I want to make an apple pie. Where's my best place to start here?
Probably on this end.
This end here?
Start with Mutsu's makes a good pie.
They are good.
Stamen Winesap makes an excellent pie.
Okay.
This is a Gala.
These are the ones we eat just for slicing and eating at home.
A Fuji will make a pie or eat either one. A Golden is an excellent pie apple. You can also eat it fresh. Probably my favorite apple is probably a Golden.
They are really good.
Then you got the Honeycrisp. Most everybody just likes to eat those. I get a few people that like to cook with them, but most everybody just likes to eat them.
Yes. Here's the thing. I got to talk to you about this because everybody's talking about the Crimson Crisp. In fact, we found out this year when we go to the tasting booth, we have a chance to actually buy an apple tree, and it is the Crimson Crisp, right?
Yes.
What is it about this new apple that it has everyone talking?
Well, it's a new variety, and everything. Anytime you have a new variety, everybody likes it. Everybody wants to sample it, see what it tastes like. So we've got some that they can sample there. That tree's a disease-resistant tree, so it's not prone for diseases and things, which makes it excellent for the person that's growing an apple tree in their backyard. Now, they don't have to worry about diseases and things.
When I've talked to growers before, I found out you usually have to buy 2 apple trees so that they can cross-pollinate and get your apples.
You usually have to have one that produces the pollen, and you got one that's pollen sterile that doesn't produce any pollen. So that bee has to carry pollen from the tree that has the pollen to the tree that doesn't have the pollen.
Do I need to buy 2 of these Crimson Crisp trees?
No, I don't think a Crimson Crisp is That's not a pollen sterile tree, as we would call it.
Sounds like an apple tree that I might stand a chance at actually being able to grow successfully. So I need to check out what you and the other growers have there at the tasting booth. Then come down here and I can just buy this all day long, right?
That's right.
All right, and you're picking these really fresh.
Oh yeah, these were just picked yesterday.
Oh my
And
goodness.
we actually pick every day.
And this is the time to do it. This is awesome. Look how beautiful this harvest is. Get down here and try some of these wonderful apples and find out how you can maybe become a new apple grower yourself with the world famous, as we've been talking about it all morning. That's the scoop, Holly and Jay, on the Crimson Crisp for you and all our viewers. Coming up, we're going to find out some fun ways to cook with all these apples. We're heading over to Moss Farms and see what they've got cooking in their booth this year. Live in Hendersonville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.
Food is a big draw at the North Carolina Apple Festival.
News 13's Victoria Dunkel is taking it old school in this half hour. And Vic, you actually tracked down some fried apple pies.
Yeah, it is one of the biggest draws when it comes to the food that is offered here at the festival. Fried apple pies trigger such a memory for so many people. And Renee Moss Brooks and her family are here. Your family's been in the apple business for generations, so you know how to make these pies. Literally, 30 seconds ago, these came out of the fryer. What happens to them now? Look at that.
We just put a little cinnamon and sugar on them.
And you are using apples you've grown on your farm?
Yep.
Wonderful.
We made our own filling. We do everything homemade.
How many of these do you make for the festival?
A lot.
A lot,
A lot,
exactly.
yeah.
Now, you even said that some people come here and they get them by the dozen to take home.
Yes, yes.
What is it when you see someone come up and they see that you've got one of those pies waiting for them, the experience?
Well, they love it. They love the smell. It draws them in, and they just love the flavor. They like the size. It looks like the ones Grandma used to make.
How is it that you come back every year to the Apple Festival and are able to engage? What's some of the perks for you from the vendor side? I mean, we get to enjoy apple pie like this, but what are some of the perks for you?
Well, we love the people.
Mm-hmm.
We have great workers. They have great attitudes. You know, we're a family business, family friends. And we like to see the vendors from year to year that we only see once a year.
So this is like a homecoming week. I'm sneaking in. I know
Yes.
this is hot, but I'm grabbing a piece of the filling. Whoa, I'm going to drop it. Will you shave me one for later today when the festival opens at 10 o'clock this morning, by the way?
Yes.
Also, by the way, these are the folks who introduced apple fries to the festival last year, so or a couple years ago now, and it is a favorite as well. I'm going to lick my fingers while I tell you that the festival starts today at 10. It goes all the way through to the big parade on Labor Day. And that's when things wrap up, so you have plenty of time to get down here and enjoy great treats, buy some fresh apples, find out what's going on. Coming up, in fact, we're going to check out some of the art and craft elements that you'll enjoy at this year's Apple Festival. Live in Hendersonville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.
We are a little more than 3 hours from the start of the 68th annual North Carolina Apple Festival.
News 13's Victoria Dunkel is live on Main Street in Hendersonville. And Vic, along with the apples, what else can we find out there?
We can find so much. There's a lot of family fun, and there's a lot of beautiful artwork. The crafts are huge at the Apple Festival. In fact, Cindy Edwards, who's with Memory Makers Quilt Guild, is showing us a few of the items here. Tell me, you said when I asked you why apples and artists go so well together, you really summed it up well.
Well, we're all artists. They create apples, and we create crafts from items that we have around our house.
Now, you're making these really cool quilted pillows.
Monster pillows
Those are
with
fun.
names.
Nice. And you've got some fun little critters in your hand.
We have
That's a
these
railroad
darling critters from Coppin's Critters.
And then you've got some quilts that are going to be raffled off. Tell me about this one here with a beautiful apple on it.
This quilt here is going to be raffled for the Dream House, which is a home for homeless teenagers.
This one supports your ministry
This
and,
one's
and
going to
your
be raffled
services.
for our ministry, which we make quilts for veterans, orphanages, several different Samaritan's Purse, and then we'll have several quilts for sale.
These
like
are
this cute
adorable.
one here.
I love the apple-shaped teapot wind chime. That's great.
We have wind chimes. We have 38 crafters that are going to be exhibiting their wares and selling them at our craft show.
And then, Adam, I need you to point down that aisle here because they're going to be a little bit off of Main Street. You can go and down, look for the crosswalk building. Is that right?
Right.
And that's where you'll find them. But if you notice, they're starting to set up down here through Main Street. A couple of things that are new this year. You're going to find out they've got the recycling bins, they've got the garbage bins here. But when you go to the food court, there's also composting. It's a pilot program this year. And there's a new teen center where they can do some fun things like bungy trampoline and a little water balloon battle set. When can I get in on all this fun, Victoria, you're asking? Well, I'm so glad you did. It all starts at 10 o'clock this morning and it goes all weekend long. Ingrid's been talking about some pretty great weather, so get out here early and enjoy the wonderful world of all things Apple at NC Apple Festival number 68. Reporting live in Hendersonville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.